If you think you've mastered airport rules, 2026 is about to prove otherwise. This year, air travel is shifting so fast that even seasoned flyers are walking into surprises they never saw coming. Everything from how you identify yourself to how your boarding pass works is being rewritten in real time. Digital passports, biometric checkpoints, new hidden surcharges, and ID requirements that can either push you straight through security or send you right back to the tail of the line. It's all happening at once. Picture this. You stroll into the airport confident, coffee in hand, thinking you're ready. Then you watch people getting pulled aside because their digital ID refuses to scan. Or their driver's license isn't real ID compliant. Or a brand new rule took effect last month and no one bothered to tell them. That quiet moment of panic, the frozen stare, the helpless shuffle backward, that's slowly becoming standard airport behavior. And here's the twist nobody warns you about. Half of what travelers think they know about TSA rules in 2026 is outdated. The other half is pure rumor. One wrong assumption, and your smooth trip becomes a disaster. So before you fly this year, you need to know which changes actually matter, which ones don't, and how to stay one move ahead while everyone else keeps repeating last year's mistakes. In 2026, the gap between a stress-free trip and a ruined one is preparation. The rules won't slow down for anyone, and airports definitely won't. Number 1. Digital IDs and real ID, your 2026 passport future. Yes, TSA now accepts mobile driver's licenses stored in your Apple Wallet or Google Wallet. And yes, at some airports you really can tap your phone and breeze forward like you're in a sci-fi film. But here's the part most travelers learn the hard way. Digital ID fails a lot. Some airports still don't support it, some scanners glitch. Some states digital IDs work, some don't. And when that scan fails, TSA won't troubleshoot, they won't restart the machine. They'll simply point you to the back of the line while your flight quietly finishes boarding without you. That's why the unwritten rule of 2026 is harsh, but absolutely true. Never rely on digital ID alone. Always carry a physical ID. Even TSA clearly states digital ID is optional convenience, not a replacement. Now here's the deadline people keep forgetting. May 7th, 2025 was the hard real ID enforcement date. If your license doesn't have the tiny gold star, you're not boarding with it, period. You'll need your passport on every domestic flight until you update it. And speaking of passports, here's the part that catches even frequent travelers off guard. The US is now testing digital travel credentials, a system where your face, your phone, and your biometrics become your boarding pass, your ID, and eventually your passport. Trials are happening in Atlanta, Dallas, and Los Angeles. It's real, and it's expanding faster than people realize. But the transition isn't complete yet. And if you depend on your phone alone, you're gambling with your entire trip. For now, and likely through much of 2026, your physical passport remains your safety net, your backup, your lifeline. Because this year, technology is sprinting forward, but the rules are jogging behind. And the last thing you want is to be the traveler who discovers that mismatch at the security line. Number 2, liquids rules stay, but something else doesn't. Every year, TikTok confidently announces that the liquids rule is dead, and every year, travelers walk into TSA stunned when officers pull out their lotion, sunscreen, or face wash like it's illegal cargo. So let's clear the air for 2026. The 311 liquids rule is still in full force. Liquids under 3.4 ounces or 100 milliliters inside a clear quart-sized bag. Same old checklist. But here's the part most people overlook. The rule didn't change, the machines did. More U.S. airports are now switching to CT scanners that can read your bag in full 3D, letting officers see inside without you unpacking a thing. At these upgraded checkpoints, you can leave your liquids, your laptop, your chargers, almost everything, zipped inside your carry-on and walk straight through. It feels futuristic until you land at an airport still stuck with old X-ray lanes. Big hubs like Chicago O'Hare, Dallas Fort Worth, and Miami International are rolling out 3D scanners fast. Smaller airports, many are still using technology from a decade ago. And here's where travelers get trapped. If you assume your airport has CT lanes when it doesn't, TSA won't hesitate. They'll pull the bag, open every pocket, unpack your neatly arranged kit, and cost you precious minutes while your boarding group disappears on the screen. So unless you know for sure your airport upgraded, pack like it's still 2010. Because in 2026, guessing wrong doesn't just cost time, it could cost your entire flight. Number 3, carry-on crackdowns, the rule you're missing. This one stings. Airlines are quietly tightening carry-on restrictions again, and most travelers won't notice until it's too late. Those slightly oversized bags that used to squeeze through, now they're getting measured. Those weight limits that gate agents ignored for years, they're suddenly being enforced at the worst possible moment, right at the gate when you're out of options, and the $75 fee is waiting like a trap. Some airlines are shrinking approved dimensions. Others are finally enforcing the rules they always had but never bothered to apply. And starting in 2026, airlines like Southwest are reworking seat assignments and baggage fee structures. Translation: all the wiggle room travelers depended on for the last decade is evaporating. Imagine this. You're standing in line, carry on over your shoulder, everything feeling normal. Then an agent places a metal measuring bin in front of you with the cold accuracy of a surgeon. You're 1 inch too tall or 1 pound too heavy. They don't negotiate. They simply charge your card. And here's the trick people never see coming. If your bag looks stuffed, agents are more likely to target you, even if your dimensions technically fit. The visual impression alone is enough. That's why 2026 demands one brutal travel habit. Weigh and measure your own bags before you leave the house. It feels annoying, right until you're the only person not repacking on the airport floor 5 minutes before boarding. The future of air travel isn't generous, it's strategic, and it punishes anyone who shows up unprepared. Number 4, Europe's biometric border 2026. If you're traveling to Europe in 2026, brace yourself. The old stamp and go era is officially finished. No more quick passport tap, polite smile, and you're inside. This year, the EU activated one of the biggest border changes in modern travel history. It's called the Entry-Exit System, EES, switched on October 12, 2025, and fully mandatory by April 10, 2026. Here's what it means for you. Every time you enter or leave the Schengen zone, which covers most of Europe, your photo and fingerprints are captured and stored in a digital biometric system. No skipping it, no opting out, every traveler, every time. It replaces manual passport stamps with automated biometric logging, tracking exactly how long you've stayed and ensuring people don't overstay their visas. And for many travelers, this will be their first experience with fully automated border control pods, machines that check your face, validate your documents, and decide if you pass. The era of casual European entry is over. 2026 is the year borders get smarter, stricter, and far less forgiving. Your entire travel record becomes visible, traceable, and permanently linked once you enter this system. The very first time you enroll, be ready for a slowdown. Extra scans, new prompts, confused travelers clog in the line. That's normal. But once your biometrics are captured, every return visit becomes smoother if you know how to move through the checkpoints. And here's the twist nearly everyone ignores. Number 5, build more time into European layovers. If you're connecting in Europe, you must pad your layovers. Biometric gates don't speed up for anyone, not even if your next flight is closing in 28 minutes. They move at their own pace, and when hundreds of people arrive at the same time, that line becomes a wall. And Europe's not stopping there. Late 2026 introduces ADIAS, the EU's new pre-travel authorization, similar to the American ESTA. It costs only €7, takes minutes to apply for, and is required even for short visits. But skip it, miss it, or assume it doesn't apply to you, and you won't even get your boarding pass in the US. Airlines will simply refuse check-in. Pro traveler tip: if you're flying with a partner or friend, register for ES together during your first scan. Couples who enroll separately almost always end up split later. One breezes through, the other gets stuck behind a tour group slowly figuring out the process. Registering together keeps you in the same queue forever. In Europe 2026, preparation isn't optional, it's survival. Number 6, hidden fees, new taxes, and refund rules. 2026 doesn't just change how you move, it changes how much you pay. Starting April 1st, 2026, the UK increases its air passenger duty again. If your trip departs from the UK, especially from premium economy, business, or first, expect your fare to jump. And as global fuel prices climb, airlines quietly add new surcharges into ticket costs. They won't announce them, they won't explain them, they'll just roll them in. And most travelers won't notice until the final payment screen stings. But here's the good news. For the first time in years, the U.S. Department of Transportation forced airlines to play fair. Under the new rules, if your flight is significantly delayed or canceled, airlines must issue automatic refunds. No 3-hour hold, no credit only, no begging a supervisor. And if you paid for anything extra, seats, bags, Wi-Fi upgrades, and the airline fails to deliver, that money comes back as well. But there's a catch almost no one sees coming. Automation only works if the data is perfect. If the airline doesn't log your delay correctly, or you can't prove what you purchased, your refund can disappear into a black hole. So here's your 2026 Travel Survival Kit. Screenshot your delay times. Save receipts for every extra. Document everything before you leave the airport. If an overnight delay traps you, walk to the gate and request the customer service plan. Many airlines must now offer hotel or meal vouchers, but they won't tell you unless you ask. 2026 isn't about luck. It's about information and making sure you get every dollar you're owed. Number 7, Fast Track. MPC, Global Entry, Clear, and Face Scan. If there's a winner in 2026 travel, it's these programs. They're the reason some travelers glide through airports while everyone else is melting down in chaos. Let's start with the most underrated one. Mobile Passport Control, MPC. The official U.S. Customs app, free, fast, available at 50+ airports. It can save you 20 to 40 minutes on arrival by submitting your info before you meet the officer. You essentially unlock a secret lane most passengers don't even know exists. If you travel internationally even twice a year, Global Entry remains king. You walk through with a quick scan. And here's a trick few people know: even if your travel partner doesn't have Global Entry, both of you can still use the same kiosk. No need to separate. Then there's Clear Plus, expanding in 2026 but often misunderstood. Clear accelerates identity verification, not the TSA screening itself. Combine clear plus TSA pre-check, and suddenly the airport feels almost enjoyable. But the biggest shift is the one no one can avoid: facial recognition boarding gates. By the end of 2026, most major U.S. international terminals will board passengers using face scans instead of paper passes. It's fast and efficient, though a bit unnerving the first time. And yes, you can opt out, just ask for a manual check, and the next evolution is already in motion. The digital travel credential, where your passport moves into your phone, is being tested aggressively. Within a few years, you may walk through an entire airport without pulling a single document out of your bag. But until that day arrives, protect the travel triangle every trip: your passport, your government ID, your phone. Keep them together. Guard them like your lifeline. 2026 rewards travelers who plan 2 steps ahead. It's not a hard year, just unforgiving for anyone flying with old assumptions. Most airport disasters happen for one simple reason: travelers don't realize the rules change months earlier, quietly, silently, without any announcement. So here's the no-nonsense 2026 survival guide every flyer needs. Number 8. The essentials you must carry every single trip. Always keep a real ID or your passport on you. Yes, digital IDs are convenient, but they only work if your state and your airport support them. Many still don't, and the moment your digital ID fails to load or doesn't scan correctly, TSA won't troubleshoot it. They'll simply send you back to the end of the line. The 3.4-ounce liquids rule, still very real. Unless your airport has next-gen CT scanners, you pack liquids exactly like you did years ago. No exceptions. Traveling to Europe? You must know about the EES biometric entry checks and the upcoming ETIAS requirement. Forget either one, and you don't even make it past the check-in counter. Airlines will deny boarding instantly, like they're required to. 2026 is brutally simple. Prepared travelers glide, everyone else struggles. If this helped, hit subscribe and share it with the friend who still brings a full water bottle to TSA. Smart flights, smooth connections. See you in the next one.